The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of the Barber's Chat Network, our great partners at H&B Media, or any of our media peers. We're just five idiots who love sports and love to talk shit. If you're offended easily, then this show isn't for you. And for those of you who aren't offended easily, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Remember, it's only entertainment.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on display, haters old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack this like I'm Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on display, haters old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You, man. It is Monday, June 2nd, 2025. Of course, I'm your host, Scott Lewis. You know to follow me on all social media platforms, man. That is at BarbChair Scott. Follow the Barber's Chair at Barber's Chair Co. on all social media platforms, as well as our partners, H&B Media, at H&B Media TV on Twitter, and at H&B Media on Instagram. And while you're at it on Instagram, follow the IG page of the show, I'm Not Gonna Hold You, at INGHY Show. And of course, while you're at it, man, subscribe to the Patreon, man, patreon.com/Barber's Chat Network, man. If you listen to this on the podcast feed, you can click right on the link in the description box. If you're watching this on YouTube, or feels like if you like on a big screen or something, watch this, take your phone up to the QR code, and it'll take you to all of the 4 different tiers we've got. And if you subscribe to the $5 I'm Not Gonna Hold You tier, or the $10 Barber's Chair All Access tier, where you get everything we offer on the Patreon, you will get 25% off your first order on the Barber's Chair Network merchandise shop. That is at bcnetshop.com, man. Get you some t-shirts, get you some hats, mugs, whatever, man. We got a whole bunch of stuff up on the site, man. So please cop while you're on there, man. So shout out to Patreon, even though y'all are fucking up the way y'all be cashing people out now. But you know, it's neither here nor there. In the words of Pavy, you're ruining my life. So get it together, Patreon. But we got a packed show for y'all on deck. We've got the homies from the Shirtless Plantain show, all of them, not just Tosin, will be joining us to talk a little soccer later on in the show. Courtney will be joining us to close the shows. We're going to talk about baseball. But yeah, we're going to start the show off talking some NBA, man. We're going to bring in the crew right now. We have got Pavy in the house. We've got Bang in the house. And we've got Tosin in the house. We got our super producer, Nikhil, taking care of everything in the production, man. Shout out to everybody here. You can follow Pav at Pavy World on all social media platforms. Go to pavverbs.com right now. Stream his album. Pav, how you feeling?
I'm chilling, bro. I can't complain. How you?
Doing pretty good, man. We've got JR Bang here, doing a lot of stuff right now. Coming up, man. You can follow Bang at JR Bang on all social media platforms. Check out the latest episode of First Black Champ, which is available right now on the Barber's Chair Network. Bang, how you feeling?
Man, feeling good. Feeling like Damon Wayans on More Money. And shit, you know what I'm saying? Feeling like Damon Wayans on More Money and shit. Niggas got jobs, having meetings. You know what I'm saying? Stealing credit cards.
You know it's been a good weekend or a good day for Bang when he don't come here talking about, man,
Yes.
You didn't post a meme with the dude who looked like you getting beat up in the alley. So
that was on Friday, but no, today, look, man, y'all see my energy different. I can't
it's different
with my head held high and shit. Let's get it.
We got Tosin here, man. You can follow Tosin at Tosin on Twitter. That's with a 0, not an O on Twitter. Shirtless Plantain Show. Y'all got a couple episodes up, man. One thing I
Oh
love.
shit! That's
What?
what happened.
Okay. Who? Did somebody
My
die,
bad.
nigga? Okay.
He
You know,
might
you know,
be. Nah.
You know what Bane just did? Bane just did when Shaq did to Ernie Johnson at the end of the last inside. Ernie had the perfect ending. And Shaq told him, hold on. Drop your mics.
My bad. No, they had told me about some shit that happened in Columbus while Lil Scrappy was performing. Some dude was about to get up on
This is
stage.
2006.
Yeah, he about
Who
to jump on stage.
Scrappy?
He was about to jump on stage while Lil Scrappy about Scrappy was performing, and he kept performing. He didn't even know what the fuck happened, but they pushed that nigga right off the stage and dude.
I saw that. I saw that. I saw that. He tried to jump on stage and they pushed it. I saw that.
But we got Toast in the house, man. We got Shirtless Plantain Show. Ever since these guys have joined the network, they've been pumping out good content, man. So check out the latest episode with Toast and the guys. Recap the Champions League final, which we'll also talk about today. Toast, how you feeling?
Good, man. May not have decided to be serious for once, so I'm happy.
Yeah, I saw that. When you sent me the text, it said David Ornstein. I was like, please let this be about Arsenal. Please let this be about Arsenal. And it was not, of course. We still trying to figure out which number 9 we want. But that's a whole nother discussion that we were getting to on Soccer for Dummies, man. But as we start the show, I just want to ask everybody, since we saw the final inside the NBA on TNT, are we worried about it going into ESPN? Because initially I wasn't, until 3 people who actually worked for ESPN started saying, I don't know, they might mess it up. And those 3 people were Bill Simmons, Dan Levitard, and Bomani Jones. All 3 of them was like, it's not the content that I'm really worried about. It's the amount of commercials that ESPN has. And then I thought about it. If you watch the pre or the halftime show, which I really don't watch because to me it's just a mismatch of people. And I think Malika does a good job. I think Kendrick Perkins get a lot of jokes, but I don't think he's bad. And they just be working Stephen A like a slave. Like, let that nigga get off. But it's like they'll talk about basketball for 2 minutes and then you hear I'm the biggest. The largest, that commercial again, which you get every 2 seconds in the NBA playoffs. Like, are they gonna be doing that during inside the NBA? Like, are they gonna allow them to do an actual full post-game show? I personally think that it should be fine, considering they got the McAfee deal. Where literally the only thing that changes is it's going to be aired on a different network. But when I heard people from who used to work for this network say they have a small bit of concerns, I really want to know how it is. I think Bomani said the best. Charles Barkley might go along with what you say, but you can't control Charles Barkley. So, like, are they going to be able to do what they really, really want to do, man? Bang, of course, you are a media expert. Do you have worries about inside the NBA moving to ESPN?
So, if you listen to First Black Champ, I famously say something about the WWE, right, compared to everybody else. Like, you can have a wrestler that's at another organization, and he's just a wrestler. But when he get in front of the WWE cameras, he could look like a superstar. Like, those cameras and the way that they had that shit set up can make the worst nigga look like a star. ESPN sometimes can be the opposite. How you can have somebody that's big, but then they come into ESPN and they look like just one of the guys. That's what I'm nervous about inside the NBA. Like, when you're at TNT, you're the big fish in the small pond. And you know it. And they treat it as such. So they know it's the biggest game in town. They treat it and they put their budget behind it. I'm afraid that inside the NBA is going to come over to ESPN and just become another piece of the cog. It's Stephen A. Smith. And not saying that Stephen A. Smith is going to be on there every episode. Just saying that you have Pat McAfee. You have Stephen A. Smith. You got Rich Eisen that's coming. You have other potential shit that's coming. We got inside the NBA. I think sometimes too much, like having a lot is definitely too much when it comes to content-wise. Like, some people don't think, you can never have too much content. No, I feel like you can, because then it's now you're just a piece of a puzzle instead of the puzzle, and people forget about you. So I think it's going to be the same show. The theme might even be the same. You still might keep the theme that they have coming in and coming out. I think it's going to be the same thing. But when you have all of that on ESPN, That's what worries me. It was the show on TNT. It is not the show here.
Pav, I know your team get these old niggas out of here, but do you have any concern about?
We do not care. We do not care. We literally do not care. I didn't even watch the last episode, bro. The game went off. I cut the thing off. Yeah,
That's hilarious,
care, bro. Don't care.
Tosin, any worries for you about it?
I mean, same thing as Pavy. I mean, it's nostalgia, right? Like, it's cool. Like, back in it, like, we'll go back and watch some clips that were cool, but it's just like, at the end of the day, you know, we're gonna watch basketball and gonna keep it moving. It is what it is. Like, they're gonna cut the commercial. We're gonna do what it is, and you know, I'm sure they're gonna tell Charles and Chuck to shut the fuck up, but like, they're not going to. It's just gonna be what it is. So, you know, I'm neutral on that. I could really care less.
Yeah, I guess I'm the only one who cares about this program. I'm a little nervous about it. Sometimes I watch them and I don't watch the games. like I won't. Sometimes I just watch the show and don't watch the game, like whatsoever. Like I don't care about the actual basketball going on, man. But speaking of basketball, by the way, Bang, I think I had to mute you. I think you got that beeping noise in the background that last time. Actually, it's gone now. It's gone now. It was there before. But anyway,
because I put myself on mute. That's why.
Oh, that's why. Yeah. I don't know what that is. But anyway, let's get into it. NBA Finals is kicking off this week on Thursday. I really hate this long gap. Then we said Mox are thirsty to hear Richard Jefferson call again. I don't think Richard Jefferson is bad. Like, I don't think
not bad.
I know what the problem is. I'm gonna sound sexist saying it, but it's Doris Burke. And it's not that I don't love Doris Burke, because I do. I just don't think she should be with Mike Breen. It just to me, this is gonna sound terrible. It sounds to me it's better like you do like a Wednesday game, like when it's like not the number one game of the week. Like I'm still one of the people who don't understand. It sounds terrible.
Grizzlies Clippers.
Yeah,
on a Wednesday night.
Yeah, exactly. Like Kings Hawks on a Tuesday.
It's a nasty game. That's not getting televised. That's not getting televised.
Yeah, like her and Jorge Sedano together. Like that's like who I want to hear on a Tuesday. And I don't think that Doris Burke isn't great, because she is. I just don't feel like she should be in that big. It just sounds off.
You said she there for the Wizards and Jazz.
yeah, exactly. NBA TV games. Like I don't want to hear Doris Burke when it's Celtics Knicks. I
Kings Hawks is nasty, bro. That's
Kings,
bogus, bro.
Ain't that your usual Tuesday?
No, bro, that's not getting televised.
In December
they not put Hawks and Kings on television. That's not getting NBA. Like literally, NBA TV might not even pick up that game, bro.
No, NBA TV for a lot of,
bro. Am I gonna hold you? Even the local channels might have to black that shit out.
Bro, that's nasty, bro. Kings Hawks is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, look, and look, I don't even know what it is. I think Doris Burke is great at calling games. It's just not a good mix with Mike Breen and Richard Jefferson for whatever reason. I don't know, but I also didn't like they got rid of Jeff Van Gundy and Mark Jackson.
I was so happy they got rid of them. I was tired of them, bro. Like I was so fucking tired of hearing.
Okay, but if you get rid of them, you gotta have proper replacements.
I like the new cast. I have no problem with the new cast.
I think Richard Jefferson and Doris are better with other crews than they are with Mike Breen.
Pavy said no more. Pavy said no more hand down, man down. He tired of that shit.
I'm tired of that shit, bro. Get that shit out of here. It wasn't even that hard in the first place to keep it G.
Relax.
It wasn't that hard, bro. And look, listen. It served a great era when LeBron and Steph was going at it, and they was calling the game. It served a great era. But get them niggas out of here, bro.
Yeah, Pavy just wants new stuff. He don't care if it's good or not. He just wants new stuff. Anyway, let's get to the NBA Finals. Game 1 will start on Thursday. We've got the Flyover NBA Finals here between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers. Who thought this was gonna happen back in October?
Insane graphic.
Now this is a Tuesday night on ESPN game.
Yes,
this is a Tuesday night on ESPN game. But before we get to the actual, picking who's going to win this series, we got to talk about the Indiana Pacers and their road to getting here, man, as something that I think me and Pavy said on this show right when the playoffs started, because the way they came into the playoffs was don't sleep on the Pacers. Now, what I meant by don't sleep on the Pacers was they can go to the second round. I definitely didn't think this was going to happen. I'm not that good, okay? But Indiana Pacers beat the New York Knicks in 6 games. They have knocked out with Giannis and Dame in the first round, knocked out the number 1 seeded Cleveland Cavaliers in the second round, then knocked out the Knicks in 6 games. Let's be real, that game sticks wasn't as close as the score showed. I kind of feel like I feel like that was real domination by Indiana. And now they're in the NBA Finals, man. Pascal Siakam was the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, the Larry Bird Trophy. That was that year when they just started giving every star a trophy. You know what I'm saying? As much as I love Michael Jordan, he don't even have the most MVPs of all time. If there's anybody you're gonna name out the MVP, it would probably be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But whatever. For argument purposes, I'm glad they did it. But he was the MVP, and it was kind of like, you look at it, a good series for people who left the Raptors. If you look at how Pascal Siakam hooped and just how good OG Anunoby was for the Knicks. But the Pacers, man, you got to give it to them. Great series, great coaching. I always feel like Rick Carlisle is one of the most underrated coaches in basketball. And I even saw a clip the other day when they beat the Knicks in 2000 to move on to the NBA Finals. Rick Carlisle was on that coach staff. I forgot all about that. He was on that coach staff. And they actually did it 25 years to the day that they went to the NBA Finals last time. And, of course, we all know they got beat up by the Kobe and Shaq Lakers, man. But overall, good move for them. I think this will be good for the NBA. We talked about this on Friday with having the small market teams. Small market and not Indiana is a basketball state. This is going to be good. I think it's going to be good for them. I don't know about the series. We'll get into that in a minute. But, Pav, what did you feel about the Pacers coming out the East, their domination of the Knicks, and just their whole run?
I think that they've been a fun team to watch all playoffs. And again, I think Tyrese has been great. I also think Siakam deserved to get that award because Siakam was incredible in that series. Especially the game 6. Like, basically, what, in my opinion, what I saw was the Knicks just got ran out the gym, bro. Like, the Pacers literally going 10 deep, 11 deep. Like, Mathurin, I think in game 6 didn't even really play for real, and like he was instrumental in some of the other games. Like, they have so many guys that can step up and make a play and make something happen. And yeah, they are consistently up and down the court. And I thought New York just at one point just got tired, bro. I was seeing plays where they were getting fast breaks off made baskets, which should never happen. Like they would make a basket, Tyrese taking the ball out, lobbing the ball down court to Siakam for like an easy layup. So yeah, I just think that the way they play basketball, is beautiful, and they've been great this whole playoff run. Like, I think that we kind of expect them to get past Milwaukee, especially like once we realize that, like, Dane wasn't going to be there, things of that nature. But I think the run has been incredible. I think it's good for the league, and yeah, man, I'm excited to watch this finals.
Tosin, man, I know you were in New York. You live in New York, so you have like a pulse of what was going on. As we've been saying on this show the last couple of weeks, that Knicks fans didn't deserve to move. I didn't want to live in a world where the New York Knicks win the NBA Finals. I think that it's safe to say that Halliburton has passed Trae Young as far as the hate rankings for New Yorkers now.
I think so too. I mean, the funniest shit was seeing somebody on Twitter post somebody out in Brooklyn with a Ronnie Turioff jersey. I'm like, that's what y'all get. Y'all just wearing a Ronnie Turioff jersey is nasty work, and sitting on the sidewalk crying is nasty work. But I mean, I'm happy for Halliburton. I mean, he's been a really good player like these last couple of years, and he's finally become like, a star now, and he's taken this team with Siakam to the finals. So it's really, really nice to see that. Also, Siakam is the greatest Cameroonian basketball player to play basketball, by the way. Not that other dude in the field. Absolutely. Absolutely. But no, it's all jokes aside. I mean, it's great for basketball. These are two really good teams. And like, I think the thing is about these two teams, they got a lot of options, both Oklahoma and Indiana. They got really, really deep benches. They're going 10, 11 deep with players. And it's just like, yo, who is this random ass player? The only thing I don't like is there's too many Canadians on the court, man. There's way too many Canadians, but it is what it is. Yeah,
we gotta stop the amount of Canadians on the court until they agree with the 51st state. No, I'm fucking around. But there is a lot of them on the court. But to me, one thing I came out is I was like, the Raptors just should have paid Pascal Siakam. Like
No,
they
they
should.
shouldn't.
They
No,
should
they shouldn't.
explain to me why they should have
No, they
been, especially after they traded for Brandon Ingram.
I mean, to do what though? Like, I think that they thought Scotty Barnes would be further ahead in his development than what he currently is. I don't think there was a reason to
So that
hold on.
means you get rid of other talent. Like I never understood.
Yeah, I don't think there was
that.
a reason. I don't think there was really a reason to hang on to Siakam. Like he served his purpose there. It was time to kind of. Now I don't know why the fuck they gave Brandon Ingram that money. I have no idea why they did that. But I thought it was time to restart and like do something different and let him move on and go play basketball somewhere else.
I mean, but here's my problem there also because I was watching the Hoop Collective pod this morning and Windhorst and was saying that he expects Toronto to be active, and then he was saying himself like, if you're gonna try to get other talent, I don't understand that just because I have a young talent, I get rid of this other talent. Like if Pascal was like 31 or something, it makes sense to me.
He's like
But
30.
He's 30 already.
I
Why?
think
This
yeah.
nigga's like 27 or something.
Nah, he got to be older than 27 years old, bro.
He's
We gotta-
31.
Yeah.
He's 31. Oh, well,
31.
that's what I said. I thought this nigga was like 26, 27.
Also, I don't think you get this version of Siakam with the Raptors. I think like he's just a perfect player to plug and play to put in this system because he is a transition guy. They don't really run many plays for him. Like everything he gets is kind of just like, I mean, shit, just get it off the muscle. Like it's not like they really running straight sets for him. So I don't think you even get the version of Siakam that you're seeing right now if he's playing with the Raptors. I just think he's in a great situation to bring out his best.
Bang, what's your take on these Pacers, man? Pacers getting to the NBA Finals once again.
The Pacers just seems like a perfect team for stuff like this. Like, I'm not saying they're gonna win the title, but they do remind me of those that Houston Rockets never underestimate a heart of a champion team. Like the only thing they don't have is Akeem Olajuwon. But they have enough.
The only thing they don't have is a 7 foot.
Yeah, they just don't have a 7
MVP
foot
player.
But they got all of the players that make that go. Like, I don't want to say they're a whole bunch of role players because I don't consider Halliburton or Siakam role players.
I heard somebody say on Russillo Pod, it's the best thing I heard about the Pacers. They're the AAA version of the Thunder. They are the AAA version of the Thunder. They're like right before you made the major leagues. They're the triple league version of the Thunder.
Only reason why I wouldn't put that, because after like what's that, Nesmith and the other dude, they're not. I would say that if they was like just as deep, but I don't even consider them just as deep as the Thunder or nearly. And that's gonna show because they're gonna lose in 5, maybe 5. Probably is going to be 4, but they are Akeem Olajuwon away from being like that team. But they got a whole bunch of players that's coached right. Like if there was ever a team where you could be like, yo, they just coached right, and if you get the right coach, you will get X, Y, and Z. It is Rick Carlisle in this team. They're just coached right, and like when you look at that never underestimate a heart of a champion 6 seed Houston Rockets team, like they were coached right. You had Akeem Olajuwon, but they were always in the right place, hitting the right shot, making the right moves, and that's what I think the Pacers are. They're in the right place, in the right spot, making the right moves, scoring the right points with the right coach at the right time.
I do agree. I do think a lot of teams are Hakeem Olajuwon away from a championship team. Let's talk about the New York Knicks. The Knicks, man, we have to talk about them. One thing I love about sports is when a team loses, all the takes that come out of it. Now, I did enjoy it because I am a self-proclaimed New York Knicks hater. When I started watching basketball, and then I'm gonna age myself here. I was taught 3 things: you root for the Bulls, you don't like the Pistons, Pacers, or the New York Knicks. Now, granted, they're none of our rivals right now because they're all miles better than us, the Chicago Bulls. But still, point being, I don't like the Knicks. So I enjoyed the takes, but I think some are more extreme when it comes to what this team needs to do. We all know the fire tips thing, which I probably would do. I would go get Michael Malone. We heard the trade cat takes. We even had an article. That Athletic article didn't even wait till the next morning to drop. That joint dropped 45 minutes after it got eliminated. Knicks players and coaches don't like the way the cat plays defense and how he doesn't even try to dedicate himself to playing defense. And they need to go get Giannis. What should they do? What should they do? I think for me, when I look at the Knicks, number one, I think me and Pavy said this a year ago, almost a year ago, when they traded for Mikal Bridges. Crazy trade for the amount of draft picks they gave up. Mikal Bridges did have some moment in these playoffs for sure. He was terrible in these conference finals. And I don't like, you've got to be an elite player for me to give up 5 first rounders. Like, even you got to be top of the line. So you got that issue. You got the issue of, as much as I like Cat, he doesn't play both sides of the ball. Jalen Brunson doesn't really either. And so it's like, where do you go from here? Do you go out there and try to put your chips in and get a Giannis Antetokounmpo? Do you try to go and get a Kevin Durant and try to just execute and take advantage of this, this time of not having the Celtics around? Because it's going to be a minute for them to come back, because we know of Jason Tatum's injury. It's going to be a minute before the Celtics will we know them as. So I feel like there's not too much that they need to do. I don't even know if they need a Giannis, because I think that the amount of stuff you're going to have to give up for Giannis is going to take away a lot of things that make your team great. I like Tibbs. I would tell him, yo, we appreciate you for getting to this point and building this team up the way they need to be built, but we need to go get somebody else. Go get you a championship-winning coach that's available in Michael Malone, and then try to see if you can find other ways to add talent. Who those talent is, I have no idea. I just don't know if Giannis is the thing that is needed. Now, if there's a way you can get him without giving up too much and pairing him up with Jalen Brunson, then yeah, you got to do what you got to do. But I do believe that they're going to look back forever at game 1. Because I don't believe the path to the NBA Finals in the Eastern Conference is going to be as open as it was this year. Pav, what do you think about how the Knicks crashed out and what they need to do next in this offseason?
I mean, I don't think they need to. Number one, I think that what they need to do is install an actual offense. Yeah, giving the ball to Jalen Brunson and let him dribble for 18 seconds. Granted, great player. He going to hit some incredible shots, but that's not conducive to winning a championship. And they have guys like I've seen. Granted, we just said you said what you said about Bridges, but I've seen Bridges average 24 in the National Basketball League. OG, I think OG ISOs are fucking hilarious, but OG is a guy who can give you 18.
A lot of people can average 24 points on the Nets.
Nah, but I mean, yes, but I'm just saying, like, they have other people who are capable of scoring the basketball. Like, we talk about that D Rose team. It's not like it's that D Rose team where you literally only had Derrick Rose who could like score the basketball. They have other people who can score like cats. So like you can find ways to run actual offense. So I think number one, either is you get some guys on Tibbs' staff, or you may have to let Tibbs go, or you get some guys on his staff to actually install an actual offense and put something in, because some of that shit is just doesn't even make sense. And then you want to try to get at least maybe 2 guys off your bench that you can actually. Granted, I fucked with the Landry Shamet game 5. He played probably the best game I ever seen him play. But Landry Shamet and Deleon Wright off the bench, that's not gonna get it done. So you might, if you can, go and get you maybe 2 bench pieces, so at least you could be 8-9 deep, so that you don't get ran off the court by a Pacers team. Because that's, to me, that's really what happened. Like every game when it got to third and fourth quarter, we still going up, down, up, down, up, down. And we only playing 6-7 guys. You're bound to get tired. We're human. So I don't think, granted, I don't think they need too much. I don't think they need to go make a huge splash. You got to the Eastern Conference Finals. Sometimes I think there's a thing to be said for keeping continuity. Like even the Pacers last year, they got to the Eastern Conference Finals. They lost. They actually got swept, if I'm not mistaken. And you see, they kept that same team together, and here they are in the NBA Finals this year. This was the first year of this thing. Hopefully, get Mitchell Robinson missed half the season. I think that you probably think that you found something there with that too big lineup. So I don't think you need to make huge changes, but I do think you need to install something else on your offense, because the Brunson go to hell ball is just at a certain point in time when you're playing the best teams, they're not gonna just let you do that. But I don't think that they need to go out there and like trade half the team away. Like, no, I wouldn't do that. You made your first Eastern Conference Finals since 1999. I think this is something that you can build off if you're the Knicks.
Tosin, which way you think the Knicks should go following this loss?
I mean, they're almost there. I mean, Knicks fans should be proud of themselves even getting this far. I didn't even think they wanted to make it this far. So they should be proud of themselves for getting that far in the first place. But I don't know. I just feel like Mike Malone would be a great coach for him. He's from Queens. So, I mean, it makes perfect sense. So his dad did something with the Knicks as well. So that kind of makes sense. But Tibbs is a good coach. I just feel like he's kind of reached like the peak of what he can give them. I don't think Tibbs is going to be like that offensive guy that they want to have as their coach. Like Pat was saying, I don't want to see Jalen Brunson dribble out the ball for like 20 seconds. That's not fun to watch. And it's not fair for Jalen Brunson. So they got to figure that out. But they're almost there. Just got to get a few more pieces and get a little bit more depth. But they're close. They just have to figure out if they're going to keep Tibbs or not. So good for the Knicks fans, I guess, man. They were hype as hell all season, as they should be. But I think they're almost there. Just got to figure it out. Like, just that's all down to Leon Rose and him and his team to figure out where they're going to upgrade and, get more depth on the team.
Bang, do you think that the Knicks should just forget what we saying and say, hey, nigga, we need Kevin Durant or Giannis Antetokounmpo?
I mean, if it's Giannis, yeah, I would. I mean, Pavy's right. First of all, Pavy's right. He's 100% right. What the fuck is the offense? Outside of just giving Brunson the ball and him holding it, what Jeff Teague said, hold it for 17 seconds, what is the damn offense? At the same time, though, you won't get Cat for defense. You don't get Cat for that. So for all of them that pressed enter on that article to say what they don't like about Cat, you didn't get Cat to play hella defense. Shit, you didn't get Cat to grab rebounds. You didn't get Cat for double-doubles, really. You got Cat because Cat thinks he's the greatest big man shooter of all time, and that's what I guess you thought he was going to get when it's over there. Now, when you look at Giannis is 30 years old, and you ain't seen no real drop-off yet. So if you put Giannis in the Cat role, you're going to get better defense. You're going to get the same amount of offense. You're going to get double-doubles. You're going to get a lot of shit. You're going to get triple-doubles. You're going to get all of that. But you're going to also get the same nigga, just taller, more stronger, that gets the ball at the top of the key and just try to bulldoze everybody. So I get it. But what is the offensive makeup? What does that look like? Who's the if Tibbs is the defensive guy, because we know he is, who's the offensive coordinator on your squad? Who's the guy that's going to build the offense around, like a true offense around these guys? There's not one. So I feel like, yeah, you will get more talent and you will get a MVP quality candidate all the damn time, but I don't know if it's going to bring what the Knicks have not gotten since, 1972.
Yeah, LeBron wasn't born the last time the Knicks won the championship.
The last time the Knicks won
Kevin Willis
the
was probably
championship-
5 years old.
Nigga, the last time the Knicks won the championship, Biggie was a couple of months old.
Damn, nigga. Wasn't Nixon president or some shit like that?
Yeah,
Who's
like,
president?
it was 72, right?
Nixon.
Yeah, I think it was
Yeah,
Nixon. Yeah, it was Nixon.
Was
Biggie
Nixon.
was born on May 21st, 1972. So that nigga was like a month old.
Was interracial marriage even allowed when the Knicks won?
Define aloud.
You had blaxploitation films at the time, so you had a lot of white women playing hoes in blaxploitation films.
Yeah, my dad was like 15. That was a long time ago. But let's get to the actual NBA Finals, man. Game 1 will be in Oklahoma City. It's funny. I don't think I've seen more don't complain about this series posts than I've actually seen people complain about this series, which is usually what you start seeing on Twitter after a while, where people want to make something that it really hasn't been yet. I haven't really seen anybody say, oh, it shouldn't be these teams outside of the fans of the teams you got eliminated. Like I saw one post about somebody said, oh, yeah, the Pacers won, but you got to live in Indiana. I'm like, yeah, okay, fair point. Very, very, very point. Put the niggas in the finals. We're going to break this down. We're going to talk about storylines, matchup, X factors, then we're gonna give our picks. Then we're gonna have soccer for dummies in about 20 minutes, man. But I've been trying to think of what the storylines to this will be, and I think the number one will be we're gonna have a franchise win their first ever NBA championship here. Now, for those of you who say, what about the Seattle Supersonics? The Thunder carried themselves as a different organization, so we're going to have it as that. There's no adding that on there the way the Lakers add the Minneapolis thing on there. At least that's the same name. So this would be their first time winning the championship. Same thing for the Indiana Pacers. I think you got a battle between one elite point guard in Gilgeous-Alexander and one really good in Tyrese Halliburton. But to me, the biggest thing I'm going to be looking here is Can the Pacers keep up with the underdog act? Because beating a Milwaukee team that really hasn't met expectations is one thing. Beating the number one seeded Cleveland team, who, let's be real, had 3 major injuries, majority of that series is one thing. Of course, beating the Knicks is another thing as well. But they're going up against a different mammoth here right now in the Oklahoma City Thunder. So that would probably be the biggest storyline for me, is who's going to hoist their first Lombardi trophy. But I'm hoping this is going to be a good series. I want it to be entertaining. I know this is going to be the last time we watch basketball outside of you people who were really addicted and watch Summer League. I personally can't do it. So this will be the last time we watch basketball until October. And as much shit as I give the NBA, and I believe rightfully so, I've been immensely entertained these last 2 months watching the playoffs. So I'm not really ready for it to be over. So I'm hoping this series can go long, even though I do not think it will be. Pav, I want to start with you. What are some of the key matchups that you're going to be looking for here in these finals?
Nembhard got to play better than what he played against the Knicks. Nembhard had me watching the game like, yo, if there's any place where the Pacers could use an upgrade, it's his ass. So Nembhard got to play better and at least bring the backcourt up to, because like in theory I know what Tyrese's gonna do, because I actually don't know what Tyrese's gonna do. Tyrese might go out and give me 10 points one time, but in theory I know what Tyrese's gonna do. But in order to match the backcourt play of what the Thunder is gonna give me, Nembhard is gonna have to step up. Also, I think the matchup in the paint, as far as like, with Miles Turner versus Hartenstein and versus Chet, I think the matchup in the paint will be really interesting. So I'm looking at that as well. And then again, I'm looking at the bench minutes. Whose bench is gonna win out? I think it'll be the Thunder. I'm assuming that it will be the Thunder, but that's also something I'm looking at as well. So for me, it's Nembhard to even out the backcourt as far as with Shea versus Tyrese, and Carson versus Nembhard. I need Nembhard to play as best as he can, or at least or give me some games where maybe he gives me like a random 20-point night. We need that. We need the Nembhard that showed up in the playoffs last year against the Knicks, and not the Nembhard that showed up this year. And then I'm also looking at like the big matchup as far as Miles Turner and Thomas Bryant, and I don't know where Tony Bradley came from, but Tony Bradley and those guys versus
send that nigga back to where he came from.
I have no idea. I didn't know he was still in the league. But those guys versus the Thunder's big. So those are the things that I'll be paying the most paying most to.
Tosin, Pav said it correctly about like how you don't really know what you're gonna get from Tyrese Halliburton night in, night out. It's good to see he has played. What, in your opinion, what does Tyrese Halliburton have to do in this series every game for them to even have a chance of winning?
Show up and be the man, and actually do your job on a regular nightly basis. He has the talent. We've seen it in spurts in the playoffs. And sometimes he just gets really cold. So he just has to just be Halliburton, be really good, and just be the point guard that you are. Score the ball, assist the ball, and don't turn it over. He's not really turning the ball over like that, so that's a good thing. One more thing on Nembhard, by the way, he needs to stop wearing that State Trooper mustache. That shit's scary.
Yeah, low key.
Yeah, that State Trooper mustache is insane. He looks like he pulls people over and calls them boy, so it's not cool.
Oh, he look like one of them niggas who like you listen to your hip hop in the car.
Yeah.
Like one of them niggas. Bang, even though you prematurely gave us your pick for the series, what's some key matchup you gonna be looking at?
I ain't tell you how many games. I said either or, so I still got a little bit of prediction left. It's the bench. To me, it's the bench. Like y'all kind of know where I'm going, but in order for the Pacers to compete, that bench has to come out and they have to match what OKC is doing. As I said, OKC is a lot deeper team, and it don't even feel like it sometimes. It don't look like it sometimes. But if the Pacers bench can stay with them, they got a chance in this series. Outside of that, it's Lou Dort versus whoever they put him on. If they put Lou Dort on Tyrese Halliburton, then cancel Christmas. If you put him on Pascal Siakam, cancel Christmas. Whoever he's guarding, the other person has to accept. So that's the bench. The benches against each other, that's the main one. But as I talked about last week, like how much of a fan of Lou Dort I am, whoever they put him on, like They about to be put in the spin cycle.
Now, it's obvious that the Pacers are overwhelmingly underdogs. This is, I even think the line is like 9 points for game one right now for them. Pat, if you look at everything that the Thunder have done this year, you know, they're like 84 and like 18. They've just been dominant front to back. There's a couple things that I look at on this. One, if I'm Denver, I would be extremely pissed right now. Like, if we could have just got these niggas, we would have a really, really good chance of being able to steal a championship here. Because if you look at it, they're the only ones who gave the Thunder some go. Like, they stumped the Grizzlies. They stumped the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Nuggets hadn't looking over their shoulders. So, is there any way that you could see the Oklahoma City Thunder being down at any point in this series?
No, but for the sake of conversation, I mean, like, they do have Rick Carlisle. You know, I do think that Rick Carlisle could, you know, conjure up something. I also think that Rick Carlisle can get you a game. I think this will also be a test for, what's his name, Mark Daigneault. I think this will also be a test for Daigneault, because I mean, you're literally in the finals against probably a top 25 coach in the history of the game. So yeah, I think that just just because of that, you do have two all-stars. Like, yeah, I do. If any game, if it's any scenario that they maybe, I think it's game one, right? You come out, you win game one, you steal the home court advantage, put the pressure back on the Thunder. I think if there's any point where they could probably be down in the series, is before you settle in, and then it would be game one. But do I think it'll actually happen? 75-25 about that.
Yeah, I'm struggling to envision a world where they can do that. I do think you said game one is very, very key. They need to go in there and just steal one, which they've done in these playoffs. They've done it multiple times in these playoffs, being able to steal a game. You know, I think it's going to be a much different beast in Oklahoma City. Now, Tosin, when you look at the way that this team has been put together, and just, it was at a point where the Thunder was starting to get jokes. Like, I mean, draft picks is are they gonna collect? When are you gonna get there? Like, and things like that. This is officially the finals built by Paul George. Right? Both of these teams are built off the backs of Paul George. What do you, let's just say they win this NBA championship, would say about the way that Sam Presti built this team, and how GMs are going to be looking at this going forward on how to build teams?
I mean, you can't really be Sam Presti. There's only one Sam Presti, right? Like, you can try, but you're not Sam Presti. He's been doing this since like 2007, right? Like, he's been doing this, like, trading stuff and like trying to get assets.
Yeah, he's been there since their existence.
Yeah. So, like, he traded Jeff Green away, if I remember correctly, which is absurd. So, yeah, I don't know, man. It's interesting to see just how he's built this team over a long haul, and you can't really imitate that. I mean, they have draft picks. They have kids who are in 8th grade right now discounted. So it's a one-on-one thing. So they got really, really blessed that they got Shea, which I still can't believe the Clippers traded Shea that time, because we all knew Shea was good, but he's really.
Can I shoot the Clippers some bail real quick?
Yeah, come on, bro.
Right?
Yeah.
It looks crazy right now.
It does.
But
had to make that trade,
2019, fresh off the NBA championship, what Kawhi looked like Jesus for about
trade.
3 months. And he tells me all.
And don't forget what PG looked like that year as well too. Hold on, and don't forget PG was a top 3. I think that was he was top 3 in voting for the MVP.
The award MVP.
Yeah, I'm tripping. But he was top 3 that year. So, like, you had in retrospect, it looks nuts. But I remember. Because, bro, me, you, and Thomas was all together.
I remember the night, nigga. That was the Zion earthquake night. I remember.
Yeah, they had the earthquake. We were all together. We lost our fucking minds. We saw the trade. We was like, man, fuck them picks and fuck Shea. You got Kawhi and you got PG. We was planning the literally. So 6 years later, when you look at who Shea's become and you look at what the Clippers did, it looks nuts. But at the time, nobody was saying that.
Yeah, and what's funny. And what was funny about that night too is, well, me and Pavy called the Zion quake, because this was, nigga, there was about 3 earthquakes that night. And it was Zion's Summer League debut, and the earthquake was so big in LA they felt it in Vegas.
Yeah.
And this is after we were looking at flights to go back to Chicago for about 2 weeks. I'm like, nigga, I'm not staying. The world's ending. I'm not staying here.
I thought the fault was breaking.
I legit like I can't even. I've been through millions of earthquakes, but that one, nigga,
Nah, that was different, bro.
it felt like Thor was shaking the crib, bro.
Like the
it
ground was rolling like this, and
Yeah.
like usually they last for like 5 seconds. That shit was
Nah.
like 50.
That was like a minute, bro.
It was like a minute long, bro.
Yeah, and a minute is long when you're building the shaking. But that's how I remember that trade that went down that night. But bang, I know this is kind of like this Moneyball kind of vibe from the movie, like how the A's built that old team. We're only going to use draft picks and things like that. Tosin says like there's only one Sam Presti, but I do kind of feel like honestly whoever wins this, it's gonna be like some owners gonna be looking like, or GMs like, Arturas Karnazovas, I can build a team without spending money like that. What do you feel like this? Because I kind of feel like that conversation might come up.
I mean, it's like what I had said last week. Look at the teams in the 80s and the mid 90s to the mid 90s. Or since Orlando calls me the old nigga, since he said what he said on Lotto's Instagram post today. Fuck you, Orlando. From my memories of basketball, I'll start from 89 to 96. Teams was built directly through the draft and some trades. That's what OKC did. They got a trade. They drafted a lot of players. They got a lot of draft capital. They made some good trades. That's how teams used to get built. Simply put, like the Bulls draft hey, y'all, don't forget, the Bulls drafted Michael Jordan in 1984. They got rid of some niggas. Some of them did cocaine. Some of them was just tough. They traded, they drafted Olden Polynice and traded him for Scottie Pippen. In the same draft that they drafted Horace Grant. They already had John Paxson. They signed him from the San Antonio Spurs. They started to build their bench. They eventually got better than the Detroit Pistons.
The greatest coach of all time was an assistant coach in like wherever he was. Yeah.
He was assistant coach. Even look at some of the teams that did not win a title, but was cold. The Cleveland Cavaliers. They drafted Mark Price. They drafted Brad Daugherty. They got Larry Nance in a trade from the Phoenix Suns. They developed the bench. They had John Hot Rod Williams in that bench. They thought that Gerald Wilkins would be the Michael Jordan stopper. It didn't work out. But teams used to draft players, get some quality free agents from the bench, develop them. This ain't money. It ain't money ball. It's the way we old niggas like me are used to seeing teams built. That's how the Pacers was built. They could have, Miles Turner should have been traded 5 times.
Oh, gee, nobody escaped the trade block like Miles Turner. He was on the trade block every single year, bro.
He's on the Lakers for 5 years.
Yeah.
Wait, has his locks even grown since then?
I don't know.
His
Lego collection did. His Lego collection did, though.
He got the same locks as DL Hughley.
Man. I can't say nothing. Because of work purposes, I can't say shit. But, like, that's how teams used to get drafted. I mean, they used to get built through the draft and through free agency and not big-ass moves. In 1996, when the CBA was signed and they got all of them big-ass deals, that's when things started to change. Everybody started getting 100. You remember, the Miami Heat tried to sign Juwan Howard and Alonzo Mourning to $100 million deal. Like, they were like, yo, we got money, we have to give it. The second and third apron, as y'all be talking about, like, that just brings shit back to the essence. I've said on this show many a times, when this shit changed, when this shit happened, real coaching and real GM hours is back. That's what this is. And that's why you see the that's why you see
niggas gotta actually do their jobs now.
Yeah, they do their jobs. Like, Rick Carlisle is probably the best coach in the playoffs. And the OKC coach ain't far behind him. This team was built by drafts and one of the stupidest trades in NBA history by the Sacramento Kings. That's what happened. It wasn't no, I'm about to sign all of these players and then go sign some booty players and some old niggas who want to chase a ring. No, it was by development. And that's why I like this series. This series is built off of growth and development.
The GE NBA Finals. So let's just get into our NBA Finals picks. By the way, Arturas Karnisovas took the Flower Boy Patrick Williams over Tyrese Halliburton before Sacramento traded him away. Let's not forget that. Okay.
Real quick, let me just explain real quick how mad I was. When that fourth pick came, I think I might have texted you. I texted a couple other people, but I know I texted a whole bunch of people like, yo, we finally about to get a point guard. Tyrese Halliburton to the Bulls, book it. Because it was also rumors that that's who they wanted.
It was you and Lotto. Lotto told me all that. Tyrese Halliburton.
And them niggas said Pat Williams, and I was like, the flower nigga?
That was the flower nigga was the nigga said that all day.
That's Kawhi's fault.
Right. It was.
Kawhi fault.
Niggas thought that new Kawhi. But let's get to our picks, man. We got to do soccer for dummies in just a couple minutes. But picks 2025 NBA Finals, man. I want to see a world where this goes to 6 or 7 games. I just can't see it. I think this is going to be, I'm going to say a generous sweep. Out of respect for the Pacers' run here, I'm going to give them 1 game. But it would not surprise me if June 16th is our final show until the next season. Because that's just really, really what I feel like this is going to be. I think this is going to be, they'll run it. One thing that I'll say that drove me up a wall in the Eastern Conference Finals, the Pacers played a stupid brand of basketball that the Knicks weren't able to capitalize on. I know we get mad at the Celtics and the way they shoot threes, but nigga, the way that the Pacers shoot threes make me want to put a bullet in my head. And I just don't think a team that is as defensively sound as the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to be able to let them get away with that. Now, I think that Nesmith, his ankle injury, he hasn't looked right since he hurt it. That's going to be a big issue. But the number one thing here is going to be way too much Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And he is on a crazy run. Only Allen Iverson and Michael Jordan have put up the numbers that he's put up in the MVP season. I got Thunder in 5, man. They're going to have them a nice parade. Niggas is going to go to TGI Fridays for the after party. And they're going to enjoy themselves out there. But I got Thunder in 5. Pavy, how you got this going?
I got Thunder in 5. I think that the Thunder will probably shoot bad one game. And like OKC, I mean, not OKC, but the Pacers will get it off the glass and I don't know when. They'll do some random, like when the Thunder lost ball and points to the not to the Grizzlies, but to the T-Wolves. But I can't see it going more than 5. I could be wrong. I would love to be wrong, but I can't see it going more than 5. I could actually see it being a sweep. I just think that the way people play basketball these days, sometimes you're going to miss so many shots that you're probably just going to lose a game. But yeah, I got Thunder at 5.
Yeah.
Tosin, how you got this going?
I got the Thunder at 5 too. I mean, the Knicks should have won game 1, but they were being dumb as well. So I think the Pacers have just skated by because everybody else is being dumb, but the Thunder is not dumb. And unfortunately for them, the Thunder match up very well with them. And good luck next year, I guess.
The Knicks would have lost in 5 too, but at least niggas would have been able to be in New York. Bang. Well, how you got this series going?
The Thunder match up with the Pacers very well twice. You can put damn near any lineup up, and they match up well with the. There's not a lineup that the Pacers can put on the floor that make me go, oh man, hey, maybe. So no, I got OKC in 4, and in fact, if OKC plays the way that I believe OKC can play, I don't think these 4 games will be close. I think the first game might be close because, hey, I've been 1 for 1 for this too.
No, I'm saying because I agree with you.
But I don't think for real. I think people should complain about how uncompetitive this series can be. And simply because of one person that I've been talking about for the last couple of shows, Lou Dort. If Tyrese Halliburton had that regular ass game after his best game of all, he's not gonna have that shit. Just put Lou Dort ass on Tyrese Halliburton, and the whole offense shuts the fuck down. That's it. OKC in 4. I would be shocked and surprised if they don't win each game by more than 10. That's how much I feel about the OKC Thunder. This is a dominant team against teams like this. And the only way they get a game, the only way OKC gets a game is because of their coach. Rick Carlisle is a game in this series because he could potentially out coach OKC. But
This
I'm
is gonna be
4.
It's gonna be Cavs, Spurs, Lakers, Nets type.
Oh
man.
no, Cavs Spurs was actually closer than what you remember.
Okay, that's true. That's true.
Closer than what you remember.
No, hold on. Game 3 and 4 were close. They got their head cracked in games 1 and 2 in San Antonio.
I mean, okay.
Yeah, game 3 and 4 was a little closer.
They should get the pace. Look, the Pacers should get their head cracked in all those games. And I'll go as far as saying, if the Pacers win a game, if I'm OKC, I'm like, how the fuck that happened? That's how much I believe that OKC is far and away ahead of the Pacers right now.
Well, we gonna see how that's gonna go, man. Of course, we'll be following on here, man. But Bang, you get an early day. You get an early day. I know you're happy about that. Pav, we gonna let you go.
Appreciate that.
Do your thing. Of course, Pav, man, let them know everything you got going on.
Yeah, man. The Baxter Dough out right now, man. Go check that out. You can check that out on all streaming services, or you can just go to pavverbs.com. That's PAverbs.com. It's all one word. And yeah, man. Appreciate all y'all. Great being on here as always, man. So yeah.
By the way, Orlando, as somebody who's been to Oklahoma City, that is a lie. Bang, let them know. Are y'all doing some dude this week?
We are doing some dude this week. Definitely got a whole bunch of stuff. Orlando, I'm gonna fuck Orlando up. Let me just say, I'm gonna fuck Orlando up. All right. I'm gonna toss your ass. I'm gonna toss your ass in the goddamn burrito. but nah. Hey, we are doing some dude this week. First Black Champ. We preview Money in the Bank. Coming up this Saturday. And also I said it on the podcast. Y'all watch When Worlds Collide, the 1994 pay-per-view, seeing a young Eddie Guerrero, Art Barr, Conan, Pero Aguayo. I know y'all don't fuck with Chris Benoit, but he Pegasus kid in that motherfucker.
Yeah, we just talk about Benoit in the ring.
Yeah.
And not when he thought he was in the ring.
Right. So yeah, go ahead and check that out.
But all right, man, we gonna holler at y'all, man. Me and Tosin are gonna take over from here. It's time for another edition of Soccer for Dummies here on I'm Not Gonna Hold You. And we've got some special guests here today to join us for Soccer for Dummies, man. If y'all been paying attention to the network, y'all been paying attention to our newest addition to the team. That is the Shirtless Plantain show, man. So we've got the crew up in here, man. Tosin, introduce the guys for us.
I don't want to introduce no black people today, man. We got Deen here, and I'm not sure where the British guy is, but he should be here somewhere. But
Deen, welcome to the program. We got Coach here too. Like I said, welcome, gentlemen, to the program. I'm not gonna hold you. Where we do sports in a very ignorant way, man. But it is great to have y'all brothers on here so we can talk a little bit of soccer, man. Man, first of all, man, I'm gonna do this thing that I call the top 5 observations since I've been a fan of this sport for the last 3 months. So I'm gonna name my top 5, and I want y'all to let me know if I'm off base with it, what y'all feel with it or not. So Nikhil, hit the game show music as we're gonna start this right now. Right here. So number 5. I want to go with number 5 observation that I've got since I started. The transfer window moves. Now, when I go to from Tosin, he told me that, it moves a little slow. So I was like, is this MLB type slow? I'm thinking more, NBA, NFL gets right to it. And he said more like MLB. And what I have learned from following this is if I hear more about concrete talks from anybody, I'm going to lose it. It's just like, let's just get to the point of signing these people. I don't understand why Arsenal don't know which 9 they want. Like, if you haven't been in the race for a minute, I think you should know what player you should want, and why you haven't gone get it to me is asinine. So I just got to be patient and wait here for what's going to happen with this. So for number 4, now I know when I went through this full process of picking which club I was going to root for, and I decided to pick Arsenal, I was taught to hate Tottenham. That was the number one that I was told. We don't rock with Tottenham. So while I haven't been watching for the first derby between the two teams, which I'm looking forward to seeing that, I haven't fully developed it yet, so I'm waiting. But I do not like Chelsea. What I've already picked up, that I do not like Chelsea as a swaggerless club with a swaggerless fan base, who I have seen way too much from on social media. So that's my number 4, observation. Number 3, and I really, really noticed it after the loss to PSG. Arsenal hate is like Cowboys Knicks level. Like, I've seen it on like the Be All Football page where they're saying stuff like, oh, they're trophyless. What about this team? What about that team? I've heard more about Arsenal since PSG won than I have about PSG. And I just want to know, what has this team done to y'all that has made the hate been to this type of level? Number 2, now this one might be controversial. This is a very American take by me. I even told Tosin this in the chat a couple days ago. I think that sometimes soccer has a participation trophy vibe. And what I mean by that is, for everybody saying that Arsenal didn't have a trophy this year, for me, I personally don't care about any trophy if it's not one of the big dogs. I think that if you have a parade for a Carabao Cup, now, unless you're a franchise that didn't win anything, okay, I think you deserve a pass for that. But if you're a big club, like the Spurs are shameless. They're shameless for throwing a Europa League parade. I'm sorry. Like, imagine in the NFL, if you win a division and you have a parade. Like, people look at you like you crazy if you do that. So I don't understand the dialogue towards that, where people say, oh, well, Chelsea or Tottenham had a better season than this team. Or would you rather win a trophy than don't win at all, even if it's not one of the top 2? That's kind of crazy to me. But my final observation, since I've been watching this sport, soccer Twitter is the worst. It makes NBA Twitter look like a great fun time to be in. It's just terrible, like over the top bad. Like, I've seen Tosin discuss it talking to United fans, but I had my first interaction where I cussed 2 people out this weekend. It just went to another level this weekend of the amount of stuff that I've been seeing. So that is my top 5 soccer observations since I've been a fan of this sport. Deen, I want to go to you first. What do you think about the top 5 that I just had?
Honestly, Scott, I'm kind of disappointed because these takes all make sense. They're sensible takes. I'm like, when is the ignorant shit gonna start? I ain't hear no ignorant shit. Like, I don't know. I guess maybe the one where you compared soccer to baseball a little bit. I don't really see that. That's not really working for me. Like, I once fell asleep at an Astros game, so that's never happened at a football game for me. But outside of that, you kind of nailed it all. I mean, then I guess I have a confession to make. Coach hates me for this, but I don't have the energy as an Arsenal fan to hate Tottenham. I just don't have any interest in them. I'm just indifferent. I don't care. He hates them because he lives next to them, but that's it.
Now,
otherwise, I think you've done a good job over the last 3 months. You've observed the right things, like soccer Twitter sucks, but it sucks the best. Pause on sucking and the best. However, but yeah, like I mean, this was not nearly ignorant enough. You got to go a little more.
I gotta get back into the drawing board with that.
Yeah, you got to get back on soccer Twitter and get some takes from them and come repeat them here. That's how you get good at being dumb.
I've seen nothing but complaining today from Arsenal fans because United made moves and we haven't made any moves yet. Now, Coach, since you live there and you have the hate of being around Tottenham, do you think it's just more of a, since you're there type thing, maybe fans who don't live there don't have the same type of hate?
I'll be lying if I said that it's not rooted in that. but also as well, it's just you can't like. I'll be honest with you. I've always hated them, but I hate Chelsea almost as much as well. And it's not because Chelsea are now successful, whatever. It's just that the fan base and just growing up in general, Chelsea is a club that doesn't it's not very welcoming to people of our hue.
Shut up, nigger.
Basically. So
he's basically saying Chelsea's a sundown town, effectively.
It's essentially so that's my reasoning there. But with Tottenham, it's like, yeah, like I don't know many Tottenham fans, to be honest, but it's just very, very strange to me the way that they behave on a match day. Like you have to walk, like having to get like a police escort and having like certain barricades up and shit like that, and then them spitting at you and stuff like that. You're going to develop hate for them just off the strength of that alone. Then some of the songs they sing, and it's natural to have that in football, but I really, 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 really despise them. I won't lie to you.
Yeah, I hate it. There's the thing too, like with the NFL, I hate the Packers. Like when I was born, that was the first thing they told me is Walter Payton is a GOAT, but I hate the Packers. But I like, look, when I tell you, I would wear a Make America Great Again hat before I put on a Packer jersey. Like it is to that level. Like it is intense. I watched that Brett Favre documentary, and that's probably accurate, wasn't as accurate, but just they were crapping on him for an hour. I was like, this is incredible. Like that's the kind of hate that I have for them. But the fans, I went to Lambeau Field and I did my first game there, and I was like, why y'all nice? Like why y'all being nice right now? Like y'all being too much. I could park over here. Like enough of that. I wanted the hate to be sent back to me, and it wasn't until the end of the night when we lost by 21.
Yeah.
And Bears still suck was ran through the arena.
I went to college in Wisconsin, Scott, and those are some. I mean, I know every 4 years they switch your vote between Democrat and Republican to ruin the world. But outside of that, those are some lovely people. Like I almost didn't leave. Then I remembered I was black, so I left.
Now, Tosin, I remember when I told you about the trophy thing. You was like, actually, that makes sense. What do you think about my takes? Because Tosin's been coaching me in this since I decided, you know what, I'm gonna watch this sport.
I'm so sorry for that, everybody, that I've been coaching him. He could have got a better coach. Yes, he has another mutual. So. But no, I mean, it's true. I mean, the biggest one for me is it's not liking Chelsea. I literally, the only person in London I knew when I was growing up was my uncle. He's the only Chelsea fan that I knew. Like all of a sudden, Roman came and everybody became a Chelsea fan. I'm like, when did this happen? This is disgusting. So that's that. And on top of that, it's just, I hate the way Stamford Bridge looks. It's ugly to me. So there's that too. So I like all your takes, especially the trophy part. I think a lot of fans want trophies and they'll celebrate any little trophy. And it's just like, yo, you're an adult. Celebrate the big trophies. Like celebrating the Conference League title is disgusting. Like I wouldn't even acknowledge the fact that my team won a conference title. Go ahead.
I'd like to say, I have the memory of a goldfish, so I forgot Scott saying that. I'm okay with people celebrating trophies. I'm okay with celebrating every trophy. Like, okay, you can only, when you start the season, most teams can only win 4 competitions. For the most part, most of the teams that enter these competitions are not going to win shit. Most soccer fans are sad all the time. So if
that's
you,
one thing I mess around,
like even if you're a dominant team and you mess around and win the Carabao Cup or whatever, flex that shit because it's not always going to be that way. I remember when it looked like Manchester United would never collapse. Like they were the bane of my existence. And today, I don't even think about these motherfuckers, man. It's a nice existence. So whatever you win, celebrate to the point that you annoy everybody else. Winning is a rare thing when people aren't, being backed by Russian blood money and oil money from the Gulf states. It's a rare thing for the most part. So celebrate when you can.
I will say too, Scott, to your point about soccer Twitter being bad. Somebody thought I was white, which was hilarious. So
that was the funniest thing of the weekend by far.
I was like, wait, what is happening here? It's like, nigga, are you black or not? No, I'm not.
Somebody went in the search bar and put nigga in the search bar.
I know what happened there. They found your Tinder account.
I don't even have.
They know you be drinking that milk, nigga. You're a milkman, boy.
I don't even have one. I'm a child of God.
You and Eric Adams date the same white woman.
That's disgusting.
Now with the trophy thing, and this is like an actual segue into Arsenal, as we're gonna talk about that in the Illinois Tosin when we talk about it. Now, all of the stuff that I've been reading, everybody like Mikel Arteta is a very controversial topic around Arsenal fans. Some love him, some hate him. But everybody say he needs to get a trophy next year, which I do agree he does. But I kind of feel like, let's just say he got like a Carabao Cup or just an FA Cup next year. I don't think the hate is going to calm down. They're like, oh, well, no, it's not one of the two big ones. Get them out of here. For Deen, I'm going to go to you first. What has been, this season? I know y'all talked about this on the pod, but like in as a fan, what are you looking for from Arteta next year to say, okay, I had a good year? Is it Premier League and Champions League or bust? Or what are you looking for?
Honestly, I'm the wrong person to ask about this because I'm a confirmed Mikel Arteta. I hate to describe myself this way, but I'm a stan. Okay, back when he was a player for the club, I knew he'd come back and become a coach. I just knew it, and it happened. So, as far as I'm concerned, I'm trying to ride this out until he decides he doesn't want to be there anymore.
Pause.
Because the guy before him, well, not before him, but the guy that we all grew up under, Arsene Wenger, was there for 22 years. Arsenal fans are used to stability. I'm okay with that. Like for me, a coach is good as long as he keeps the team in the room. Being in the room means competing for every competition you're in on a consistent basis for however long that coach is there. The moment I feel as if Arsenal can't compete for the big trophies, then that's the moment where I start thinking, okay, maybe it's time for him to move on. But we're kind of far away from that. We're like, the best player on the team is 23 years old. So it's going to be a while before Arteta kind of falls off in that regard. That said, I understand why people feel as if he needs to win something. We're going on 6 seasons now. That's probably enough time to win something. But ultimately, for me personally, as an Arsenal fan, I'm just happy to be competitive because I know from history, like take PSG, for instance, they just won the Champions League. They've been competitive in the competition for like 15 years since the Qataris bought that club. Some years they went out in the second round. Some years they went out in the quarterfinals. Some years semifinals. They made it to the finals back in 2021 and lost in the final. But they were always kind of there. They were always a competitor. And eventually it happened for them. So my hope is that we're not having this conversation next season. And it's that, well, how is he going to defend XYZ trophy? So, but I see why people have a sort of a bit of a time limit on this. It's been a while. So it's time for him to win something for sure.
Coach, how you feel about that? Are you the same way as Deen, or are you looking for something different from this team coming up?
No, I don't have anything to disagree with Deen. That he said everything that I would say. That's it. Yeah, Arteta is the one to bring the big trophies back to Arsenal. It's that simple. And those of the people that don't want that to happen, they don't have Arsenal's best interests at heart because they're looking for the quick fix. Sort of, let's get Conte, let's get INGHY, what I'm saying? It's just like, well, do you care about your club or do you care about being able to brag for about, 2 weeks? Because that's what it's going to be. You win a big trophy and people are going to be bragging for like 2 weeks. And then they're going to get bored and say, we need to win this now. And you see what I'm saying? So I couldn't care less. Like, I don't want those coaches at my club because they don't have the best interests of the club at heart. They have their own CV to think about. Arteta, before anything, is an Arsenal man. So, and that's important. For me personally, that's important. If you're an Arsenal man and you are clearly pushing us in the right direction, I don't really have a huge issue with the overall picture. Nuances, in terms of tactics and, targeting certain players and certain profiles, yeah, let's have that discussion because he's not perfect. But the overall picture, nah, man, he's acing it for me right now, to be honest.
You said Arsenal, man. It was actually as a question I just came up. I saw Thierry Henry talk on, I think it was Overlap, and he said that this is a throwback question that Ashley Cole is an Arsenal man. Now, when I did my research on this dude, and of course we know he was part of Arsenal, came up in their academy, and then he went to Chelsea with a whole ugly breakup that I saw. Do you agree with Thierry that he's an Arsenal man, or he just went to Chelsea like he
No. He's absolutely. I'm one of the very rare Arsenal fans that I've never hated Ashley Cole. I've been at games before where I've lost my shit and called a player from a next club a see you next Tuesday, right? And people have looked at me and said, we only use that word for Ashley Cole. And I looked at them like, are you crazy? No, seriously, like it's happened a couple of times. I remember it was in particular, it was It was this woman and her daughter, and I think we're playing West Brom at home. And one of their who did they have at centre back, Dean? Like one of those big fuckers that they always have. And then one of those guys, bad tackle on one of our attackers, and I just lost my shit kind of thing. I was like, people actually hate Ashley. How can you hate Ashley Cole? Like the reason why he left. No, the team that he left to, I get it. But what Ashley Cole did for Arsenal before he left, he was already the bona fide best left back in the world, an academy product. He was our best academy player right up until 2021, 2022. Do you know what I mean? Literally in the history of Arsenal, he was our best academy player. I have zero issues with Ashley Cole. Zero. So.
Also, Scott, I have a funny Ashley Cole story for you. Look up Jermaine Pennant and Ashley Cole when you get time.
Okay, I'm gonna look that up. Okay, I'm gonna look that up.
I do want to say before you move on, Scott, that this was one era where Coach and I disagree. At the end of the day, if most of your achievements as a footballer were at a different club, a club I dislike, then you're not really gang no more. You're not like Peter Cech is more of an Arsenal man than fucking Ashley Cole, man.
You say that, but he won 2 league titles at Arsenal and 3 FA Cups. The only thing that he won more at Chelsea was literally the Champions League. Like, and you say that's his most.
The thing is, they can claim him. They can claim him, and that's the problem.
Let them claim him, but we all know what's up. Funny enough, when the Invincible book was coming out, basically out of respect for Arsenal, he said, "You know what, guys, thank you for reaching out, but I still think that obviously it's a sore topic for a lot of Arsenal fans. I don't want to taint the book with my contribution to it, out of respect for Arsenal. Like, you can't. The guy's an Arsenal man, whether people don't admit it or not. The guy's an Arsenal man. Like, and funny enough, if you look at all of the legends that talk in the media and stuff like that, kind of thing, you could say that doesn't really opine on Arsenal, but every time he does, there's never some of the bullshit that we do see from some legends. Let's be frank on that. It's never that. Like, you can look up Ashley Cole interviews. He's rarely ever talking shit about us.
It's because he's not that eloquent. He doesn't want to say anything anyway. You know, like he'd be on TV, he get nervous and shit. You know, I know that.
And I did see that answer. What was his favorite moment in football? He said his first game playing with Arsenal. So I thought that was interesting. To me, it's kind of like, it's not really the same because Dennis Rodman spent way more time with the Pistons. If you ask the average person on the street, I think they remember Dennis Rodman as a Chicago Bull more than Detroit. Nobody outside the state of Michigan remembers him playing in Detroit. So I kind of feel like it's the same thing. Like, I even messed with my Detroit cousins. Like, why y'all got his jersey? He's one of ours. Like, we took him from you. Like, so it might be something like that. But there's one last Arsenal question, and we want to talk United, and we'll talk PSG. If you look at the everything that they've got going on, trying to find who's going to be the striker, and we've been hearing from the reliable sources either going to be Benjamin Sesko or Victor Gyökeres. Now I asked Tosin, he said he don't believe either one of those should be somebody that we should be targeting. Deen, which one do you prefer? Which one do you think will be the best one? I know some people say Gyökeres can come in and impact right now. Some people say that Benjamin Sesko, it's going to take a little longer, but he's going to be the best number 9 in the league if he does. Which way are you leaning?
I said that but there's no real doubt in my mind. It's Sesko. I think a situation like this, you look at even ignoring the players, if you just focus on the ages of the players, and the potential outlay, we're about to spend somewhere around 60 million euros at a minimum. That's not a small amount of money. Like, you're more likely to give a player more chances if he's younger and still developing than when you think you already have the final product. Then the idea that just because Victor Gyökeres is scoring a lot of goals in Portugal means that he's gonna just be a plug and play, like he's just gonna, hit the ground running at Arsenal. That's not true. That's not every transfer, especially the expensive ones, are filled with risk. There are lots of players that we thought would be good at certain clubs that ended up being good. For the most part, the more money you spend on a transfer, the more likely it is to fail. Like that's just a history of the sport. There are some sure things, but neither one of these is a sure thing. And for me, ultimately, whoever comes in is going to play second fiddle to Kai Havertz for a little bit anyway. So why not have it be the young dude that has room to grow and is seen by people in the industry, that being, European football industry, as a sure thing in a couple of years. And based on what I've seen of him, I just don't see him as, he just can't miss. It's a bit like Alexander Isak from 3 or 4 years ago. It was pretty obvious that he was going to be a good player. Arsenal didn't make the move at the time. They shouldn't make the same mistake with Sesko. Gyökeres, there are things about his game I don't enjoy. He's a bit too head down. He cannot head the ball. He's doing this stuff, all these goals, very impressive numbers. He's doing it against plumbers. It's not to go all full JJ Redick on him, but I just don't. I'm not buying the idea that he's a guaranteed theme because he's a little older and he's been doing it in Portugal. Portugal is just not that league, So I mean, you followed the sport for 3 months. What do you think about Darwin Núñez from Liverpool?
Yeah, he's cold, but like I like that. I like Gyökeres, but I'm with you where when I see somebody have that high number of goals, I question it because that's some video game type shit. And so I kind of feel like if you brought that into, to me, what looks like better defenses in the Premier League, I don't know if it's going to translate as well. But I also kind of feel like it's a win-win situation almost at the same time too. Like I don't think it's a bad either if they went with Gyökeres, but I think I forgot what podcast I was listening. They said this, like Arsenal's gonna exist past this upcoming year. So I also think that's also why you should probably get Sesko to think, like you just said a minute ago, the best player at 23 years old. So yeah, you want to get it done this year, but what if Gyökeres in 2 years is like, oh, okay, he's already fallen off? Then what?
Yeah. And I want to make the other point, like Arsenal didn't win anything. So to a lot of fans and observers, this season feels like a failure. But I'm not going to debate whether you feel it's a failure or not. I'm not Giannis. However, this is still not a bad team. They made the semifinals of the Champions League. They came second in the Premier League, arguably the hardest league in Europe. So to improve this team won't take much, So you really can't go wrong. I don't really care who they bring in, to be honest.
And I know it sounds like an excuse because people said this, and we hear this with just any sport, not just soccer, about injuries. But I kind of feel like when you have 27 and 2 of them were some of your best players out for at least 3 months, to me, that's a valid excuse to say, well, this is where, and not to say that they don't won with them, but a lot of teams aren't bouncing back from that type of thing. Like in the NFL, if your starting quarterback misses 6 weeks, you're probably screwed.
That's a right.
So that's why I kind of feel like it's in that. A backup quarterback can hold you down for 2 to 4 weeks maximum. After that, you're gonna realize why they're a backup. But Coach, which way are you leaning in the striker debate?
Yeah, I don't want evil Ryu. It's that simple. I've only got eyes for Slovenian, which is crazy because I don't really like. I'm very much a child of the Thierry Henry era. So I love black strikers. It's that simple. But if I have to pick right now, yeah, it's gonna be Šeško. Definitely. And one of the main reasons why is more than anything, when a player sounds out the fact that he watches certain players and he's trying to model his game on certain players, and those players happen to be one of the best strikers you'll ever see because of the similarities in their stature kind of thing, that can only be a good thing. Like, who the hell is Gyökeres modeling his game on? Do you know what I mean? Wrestlers. Like, it's not. I don't see it from me personally. So it's basically just it's I think it's a very, very simple thing. And as well, you look at how he comes into the team and the way Arsenal already play, those back post crosses from Saka and now Odegaard as well, that's cash money, man. Like it's not. Football is nowhere near as complicated as some people would want you to believe, Scott. Like, especially in the 3 months you've been watching, it's not complicated at all. It's about getting your best players the ball as often as possible in the places where they can hurt teams, basically. And we do a pretty good job of getting the ball to Bukayo Saka, and we also do a pretty good job of hanging the ball up to Šeško, so to Havertz. So I'm not being funny. It's a no-brainer for me. I'm not saying he's going to come in and score 30 goals in his first season, but whatever goals we score next year, if he adds another 15 to that, those 15 could be that the difference. We could be 1-0 up in a tight game, and he kills the game for us. And then now we can rest players because we've got a big midweek game, and then those players are fresher for, you know what I'm saying? It's just those little things people don't really think about too tough, but we're not looking for him to score 30 goals next season. This is a team that scored 92 goals the season before last with a crap number 9 and an underperforming left-hand side of the pitch, and we scored 91 goals. So I don't know. It makes a lot of sense for us to explore the option with Šeško for sure.
Then Marino had like 6 goals when they put him at striker. Like, and he never played it before.
And this goes up to the point about Mikel Arteta. Like, regardless of what people want to make you believe about him, this is a guy that's coached these Arsenal. I think this has been his best coaching performance as Arsenal manager so far. This is a guy that knows what the hell he's doing. Whether you agree with the methods and you're getting hung up on the style of play because you watch PSG for 180 minutes, when they played Arsenal, you haven't seen that team for over a course of a season like some of us have, kind of thing. You're gonna be annoyed at certain things, but Arteta, for the most part, like, he's made sure that we belong in these rooms and we're staying in these rooms, and that's down to, I want to say, 80% coaching from him for sure.
Yeah, just gotta stay in the room. Just gotta get out the cuck chair. That's all we gotta do. Just get out the cuck chair. Get on the big bed. And we'll get the trophies.
That's disgusting.
Just got two more things for y'all, man, and we're gonna wrap this. So I know Tosin, you're tired of us talking about Arsenal. So your club decided to act like a big boy club again once the other day. How do you feel about these moves?
First of all, I'm used to this Arsenal shit. These are some of my best friends in the world, so I'm used to this shit. This is just a normal day that ends in Y. How do I feel about United? We got 2 black players, so that makes me happy. One is bald, one is not, so I'm very happy about that. It's just now focus on midfield, because we have a Uruguayan luchador in our midfield and a Brazilian old man in our midfield, and we just got to figure out our midfield. But I'm very happy about the 2 signings. I mean, they've both done really well this season, and they've done really well in the Premier League, so they know the league in and out. But it's also Manchester United. This is the same club that will, make anybody look terrible, because I don't know, we might have, somebody might have put a curse on us. Actually, Sir Alex put a curse on us, so I don't know. Like, I'm happy, but I'm also optimistic.
Is the Sir Alex curse like the Jordan curse for the Bulls? I enjoyed those last 3 championships in my youth days, and I ain't seen shit since. Is it the same thing?
I would think so. Except Michael Jordan didn't, fawn over a horse. So I don't know.
Well, he's gambled other things. That's for damn sure.
Allegedly.
Everybody who grew up in Chicago got a Mike story that just don't sound real, but it's true. Like, Mike, this is the type of gambler Mike was. He would play in the hood before a game. Like, just in the alley, hooping in a suit, getting ready for game 2 of the NBA Finals, but there's money on the line here. That's the type of guy Michael Jordan.
I heard he did his best winning at the McDonald's R. Kelly used to go to.
Oh, that's a classic.
That's what I heard. I can't confirm this or deny it. I just heard it.
Hey, that's a classic McDonald's, the rock and roll McDonald's downtown. Lot of nefarious things have happened at that McDonald's,
including gambling. That's a little gambling.
Right. Yeah, one of many. That's the only McDonald's I think I've been banged on. Like, we're like on stuff at McDonald's. Like relax. But go ahead, Tosin.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see now they're actually acting like adults and actually getting real players in early. We could not score a chance last year. So you finally got adults in the room. So I'm happy to see what else we're gonna do this summer. Allegedly, we're broke too, so who knows?
I think it's like the Cowboy Laker thing, where it don't really even matter what the team's like. They just want to say they play for Manchester United. Like, I kind of feel like that's what it feels like to me. Because I didn't think y'all had a shot after missing European football.
You remember when Project Pat made a specific song? He says, "Don't save her." Everybody's trying to save May United, and she don't want to be saved. She clearly just keeps telling me for the last 12 years, I want to be reckless. I don't want to live my life like this. But everybody wants to be the savior. And it's not a normal team at all.
Amen. Final topic for y'all, man. Of course, PSG just won the Champions League. Y'all talk about Deen and Tosin. Y'all talk about it on the last episode of Shirtless Plantain Show. But I want to talk about Kylian Mbappe because he got a Kevin Durant level of slander this past weekend on social media. People saying he ran from the grind and, he's, not doing this, Real Madrid went trophyless, despite the fact that this man had like 40-something goals in all competitions. His play didn't go down. It was the rest of I don't know who else is going on in Real Madrid for them to not get it done. But I know, Tosin, you went on a rant on this on Twitter about, all right, I know we're having fun, but this dude is still a dog. What do you feel about Mbappe getting the slander and, like, why people just going in on him? Like, this is a funny question because this is the worst app to ever exist in the history of humanity. So they just go in on anything. But what do you feel about that?
Roger Mayweather once said, most people don't know shit about boxing. And the same thing I feel about soccer. Most people don't know shit about soccer. And it's the same thing about Bill Simmons talking. I'm like, yo, why are you talking? Like, go do another Celtics documentary and leave us alone. How about that? Just leave us alone. I just think it's good cultural currency where, you know, you can easily talk shit about, you know, the man in the room. And also, you know, there's also some things behind him leaving PSG and like, you know, all of that stuff. It's all politics, whatever. But I just think people lose the sight of like what actually they've seen. Like this is a guy who scored in the World Cup final, scored a hat trick in the World Cup final, and then when he was a teenager, won a World Cup. So let's kind of, you know, make the jokes, but also let's be a little bit respectful that this is not a normal talented person. This is an alien. This is another alien in the sport that we've seen before, you know. So he'll get his due back. And Mbappe is also a type of sicko who's probably like printing off everybody's tweets and has that like looking at it. Like he's probably got it
got it
pasted
in
in his
a
room.
room.
Yeah, he's like looking at it every morning, just got laser focus. Like, all right, bet this is what y'all saying about me. So
If you doing what Kobe be doing, what Kobe want to say? Some people, you know, friends are temporary, banners are forever. That's a psycho quote right there. 100%.
yeah, Kobe was just an absolute sick man. But yeah, I mean, with Mbappe, it's, you know, I get it. It's fun to make fun of the man, right? It's fun to make fun of him when, like, you know, they're doing better. But listen, he's at the club that he wanted to be in since he was 11 years old. He'll figure it out. He's talented enough, and he's got a really good coach coming in next year. So we'll see.
About that coach. About that coach, he's already said straight up and down, like, it's not going to be any easier than what he had it at PSG under Luis Enrique. You're going to defend, basically, and it's going to be literally him against Mbappe, and it's going to be down to Flo who gets custody of the Bernabeu. But no, for real, they're gonna lock heads because Mbappe is not going to respond well to that. I don't think, because he's still going to be that, look, I'm the man. He came in this year. And they all bent the knee to, initially they didn't, but everyone in that change room bent the knee to Mbappe eventually. Like they did. You could see it in the way that they played, especially in the coming up towards the second half of the season and the second half of the season afterwards. Like Mbappe earned his stripes in that dressing room because, you know, they saw this guy in training and they were like, oh shit, okay, he's our guy. Thank you, Vinny, but this is our guy essentially. And you saw even the way that Ancelotti played, you know, that front three. You know, he had everyone around it trying to fit around Mbappe, basically. Rodrigo doing right wing shifts, Bellingham just plugging in wherever he could fit Bellingham, basically. Like, you know, if Mbappe said, I want to play on the left for like 30 minutes, they will have to just figure out how to just not get in his way, basically. And Xabi Alonso's coming into a dressing room where they've all already sort of got their own, like, he's the man, he's a legend. I wouldn't say he's a Dan level, but they all have a level of respect for him, kind of thing. But also now you've got Mbappe there, who is Kylian Mbappe. That's the bottom line. You know, he's missing a Champions League, but you know, is he the only World Cup winner in that squad right now? I don't think, Tchouaméni and
I think so, yeah.
Tchouaméni and Thingy were too young to be in that squad, kind of thing. Like, and he's the one that Flo wanted above everybody else as well. So there's a lot to contest with there for Alonso already. So for him to try and get the best out of Mbappe next season, there's going to be a lot of, to my mind, there's going to be a lot of, you know, back and forth, I think, initially. But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, if I may, I don't think it's going to be that complex. I mean, we just watched his old team win with a player that wasn't renowned for his pressing, doing a lot of pressing in that final, doing a lot of pressing throughout the tournament. And like you said, Xabi Alonso does have the cachet. He's a Real Madrid alum. He's won everything. There are no medals that Mbappe can dangle in front of his face like, hey, coach, shut up. And on top of that, Ancelotti essentially lost his job because he couldn't figure out how to incorporate Mbappe into the team. If you kill a second coach before you guys win anything, nothing is ever going to work with that roster again. You have to rebuild before you're done with your rebuild. So I think Mbappe is actually going to cooperate. I think he's going to cooperate because they've done it his way. He got his stats. Vinicius fell off. Rodrigo fell off. Bellingham fell off. And they won nothing. So he's going to adjust. He's an egotist like every great player in every sport is, but he's not an idiot. So I trust him to do the right thing. You know, he knows what it takes to win games. He's won.
Yeah, I mean, I have no doubt in that you know, he will adjust his game and stuff like that. But I do still think as well, he's there to win them shit. I don't feel like he's ever gonna be the, put it like this, I can't envision him pressing like Dembele. this season. He will adjust his game to help defensively. I just can't envision Mbappe doing those shifts. Because let's be honest here as well, right? All those players that play that way and do those sorts of things, kind of thing, these are all players that have either done it from young or they've never actually ever been the man. Dembele is great, wonderful player, one of my favorite players. He's never been the man. Do you understand what I'm saying? He's always had to play in service of somebody else. Mbappe's playing in service to no one his entire career. He's 27 years old. He's been the man from day one. That's what I'm talking about. It's going to be harder for him to really adjust it. He probably will, but it's not going to be a straightforward thing. He's still thinking like, I won France a World Cup, bro. I literally, you know what I mean? I scored a hat-trick in a World Cup final, and these niggas still couldn't help me, kind of thing, you know? So,
as Stephen A and soccer Twitter would say, we do not care. We do not care. It's what you do next, nigga. Get your Ninja Turtle ass on that pitch and press, you bitch ass nigga.
Oh man, I'm definitely glad to have y'all on, man. We definitely gotta do this again. Definitely happy that y'all are part of the family, part of Barber's Chat, man. Definitely glad that y'all are joining us. So yeah, follow them. Follow the show at the Plantain Show on Twitter, man. Get in tune with all the episodes they've got on the Barber's Chat Network. Check out the latest one, Tosin Deen recapping the Champions League final, man. So definitely enjoy talking to y'all brothers, man. Definitely gonna holler at y'all, man.
All right, take it easy, everyone. Peace.
Yes, sir. We're gonna take a quick 1 minute break, and on the other end, we're gonna break down this weekend in the MLB. Courtney's gonna be joining me here, and we're gonna wrap up this edition. But I'm not gonna hold you, man. I'll be right back in a minute.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah, we cold too. Getting paper on display, haters old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
Welcome back on I'm Not Gonna Hold You. Courtney, I apologize for the tardiness. I saw that.
Everybody gets one. Everybody gets one.
Saw that gift in the chat. Like, oh yeah, let's wrap this up. But,
yeah. I forgot she's still here. No. You're all good, man. Listen, I fully expect when y'all say one time, I'm like, I should just go ahead and add on like 10, 15 minutes. Because I know sometimes we just be hooping, we just be podding, you know?
Yeah, we just be podding. It's always the first 15 minutes. We usually start the first 15, 20 minutes not talking about sports.
Correct.
That's usually
so again, I can always just add that to the time.
Definitely, man. But Courtney is in the house. Of course, you can follow her on all social media platforms at 1800 Collabro. She's a co-host of the High and Outside podcast, which is great baseball content. So check that out on all your feeds. Courtney, how you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I finally decided that I wanted to start partaking in sports again. I gave myself a good 48 hours off. I watched that game 6, Indiana and New York. That was actually pretty entertaining basketball. Again, don't laugh at me, anybody. But as someone who did not watch any NBA all season, I'm like, damn, Indiana was kind of good. Indiana was kind of good. It was a little scary. Look, I don't know how good the Knicks actually are. I don't know if it's a testament to maybe the Eastern Conference not being as good as they were supposed to be. Boston in particular, because I know they obviously won last year. But that being said, Indiana looks pretty damn good. I watched a little baseball, obviously. So yeah, we're back. I will not be watching any fucking hockey.
I was just about to ask you, were you going to watch the Stanley Cup
I would rather watch paint dry.
I respect it because like when your team go, you don't watch no more. When the Bears got eliminated, except for football, because
I thought about going down to Austin because the Texas Stars, so our AHL team, basically our AAA team, they are in the Western Conference Final as well for the Calder Cup is what it's called in the AHL. So I thought about going down to Austin. Man, I was like, it's too soon. I can't. It's too soon.
I think the only sport that I'll watch the next week is football. But when the Bears lost the Super Bowl,
I'll see you next week.
yeah, when the Bears lost the Super Bowl, though, Granted, I was 18, but oh my god, when I
you gotta take like a mental health break from the game. I unfollowed every like NHL related page.
don't blame you.
I don't follow BR Open Ice, Bar Down. Like
You don't
I
wanna see
don't
none of
follow any. Like I had to take a break for my
Well,
own mental.
when the Bears got eliminated in the Super Bowl, of course I didn't have to worry about social media, but this is how big of a Bears fan I am. I didn't go to school till Wednesday, and my parents allowed it. Now, also, this is my senior year of high school. This is my senior year of high school. I was on cruise control and graduating, so it ain't like I had to be there at that particular time of the year. But I was. That's the only time that I will admit I cried after a game. I cried.
Mine was Game 6. 2011 World Series, where I sat on the couch with my dad and was just crying after David Freese hit that fucking walk-off.
Oh,
and we'll see you tomorrow night.
I know what game you talk about.
With my dad for sure. That one, I think he wanted to laugh because I feel like he's seen the script so many times with the Rangers before. That was painful.
Like when Rex Grossman got picked off in the rain by Kelvin Hayden. And what made it even worse, Kelvin Hayden's from Chicago, went to Hubbard High School. That's what really had me high. I was crying on the steps like I was Mario Winans. Like it was just it was just not good whatsoever. But yeah, so I definitely understand where you're coming from on that. But let's talk some baseball. I have slowly been watching. I watched the most this weekend, of course, with the NBA coming to an end. The Dodgers took care of business this weekend, winning 2 out of 3 against the New York Yankees in a World Series rematch. In fact, it was a terrible Saturday night for you. Think y'all had bad? New Yorkers had a terrible Saturday night. The Knicks got eliminated and the Yankees lost 18-2. There's a terrible weekend for them. Shohei Ohtani putting on a show. Everybody on that team putting on the show. You know, it's kind of weird about what we've been seeing from the Dodgers. I kind of feel like a lot of people are like, oh, they're not really what we thought they'd be right now. But they're 36-23, second best record in the league, 2 games over the Padres, and they've got like their whole pitching staff on IL right now. Courtney, what have you seen from the Dodgers this year in this series against the Yankees? What would what would be your grade on them so far as we get ready to head into, more crucial time of the season?
I would say my biggest takeaway, and it's kind of double-sided, right? So my biggest takeaway is obviously this team is incredibly talented. Shohei Ohtani is a fucking star. He homered off Max Fried twice, which I don't think Max Fried had given up more than 2 runs to any opponent all season so far. So there's that. Just high powered offense, 1 through 4. Crazy. I know Mookie fractured his freaking toe, apparently stumbling around his house like in the middle of the night trying to go to the bathroom.
I'm not gonna lie, I almost bust my shit the other night.
Like, but bro, you're rich enough to have some floorboard night lights, Mookie. Let me know where to send them. I'll send you an Amazon link. Actually, I'll just buy it for you, so we don't have to worry about that. But no, they're 1 through 4, obviously super stacked. Max Muncy finally has started hitting the ball better. He apparently went to an eye specialist, like an optometrist, and now he has glasses to help with his astigmatism. And I have the numbers since he got started wearing his glasses. Max Muncy has a before glasses 32.4 K percentage, now has a 15.6 K percentage, 59 before WRC plus before glasses, 164 WRC plus now. So I think brother just couldn't see. It's very much giving Jameis Winston. It's giving Jameis Winston. Dude, I
forgot Jameis said that.
But no, Max Muncy had an incredible weekend. 11 RBI, 5 hits, 3 homers. He went crazy. But again, the other side to that is that this offense kind of scares me because they can be a little inconsistent. And by a little, I mean very. And obviously, again, it's great that Max Muncy was able to contribute, that Andy Paz has stepped up in this lineup. But again, when that 1 through 4 is quiet, it's not very encouraging for the rest of the team, and that worries me.
I kind of feel like compared to last year, the bottom of the lineup doesn't have the same punch that it did. Like, and
For
I
sure,
feel
but
like
that's also again they're super top heavy. Like they're one to get through their 1 through 6, 1 through 7. 8 and 9 is kind of just like, oh, the little razzle dazzle, but you have to go through murderer's row of hitters, and sometimes they're just not firing on all cylinders, and that scares me.
Yeah, and I also feel like too when I look at like champions. Now, obviously, it's different in baseball. I feel like baseball is the only sport. Football a little bit too, but really baseball. When you go into the playoffs, it's all about rhythm. Like how are you hitting at that particular time? How are you pitching at that particular time? But I kind of feel like I want to give them the benefit of the doubt because they are the champions, and I don't think they care too much about the regular season like most teams would be. But I do think that they made a statement this weekend. And I think that
100%.
it was necessary.
And to echo your sentiments, obviously, I know playoff play is very different than regular season play. The Yankees don't look like they made any strides in closing the gap between themselves and the Dodgers.
None.
And again, I don't want to just cite that one. And again, I know Garrett Cole is hurt. That's a big issue in terms of just who you send out there in your rotation. And who thought that Will Warren was going to have that kind of start, right? I don't think anybody projected that. But brother, 18 runs, 18 American baseball runs.
It was like 10-1 in the third inning.
That's crazy. That's crazy. You can't. That's just unacceptable. Again, under those circumstances. And then again, it's like, oh well, Aaron Judge homered twice, and it's very much like the Chris Paul meme where he cuts the lead to 42.
Cut the lead to 42.
Yeah, like what are we doing here? Yeah, it's fantastic, and dude's obviously having a record-breaking year, batting fucking 400, which is disgusting. Best hitter in baseball, obviously. But yeah, the Yankees just aren't. I'm not moved by the Yankees. Matter of fact, I'm really not moved by anybody in the American League at this particular moment.
Yeah, and I kind of
into our the next team that I really want to unpack with you, Scott.
Yeah, let's get into the Houston Astros, man. The Houston Astros right now, with all the things they've been going through, only a half game behind the Seattle Mariners for number 1 in the AL West, but they've got a lot of injuries going on right now. What's your take on the Astros?
See, well, the thing about the Astros is, Scott, and it's not really just the injuries. Like, it's a very long season. Injuries are going to happen, both to starting pitching. Their most recent starting pitching injuries being Ronel Blanco and Hayden Wesneski, who they got in that Kyle Tucker trade to the Chicago Cubs, when they sent him to the Chicago Cubs, excuse me. That is going to happen. Pitcher injuries happen. Unfortunately, Spencer Arrighetti, his pitching injury where he was like they were doing BP or something, and he got hit in the thumb. But again, even that has been a weird, tumultuous storyline that shouldn't be a storyline. Now, I don't know if you've been reading about the stuff with Yordan Alvarez, where he hasn't been in the lineup in like a month. Month and a half. Yeah. About a month and a half at this point. Mind you, he's their only lefty hitter, Scott, and they don't have him in the lineup. So their whole lineup is just righties. But they don't have him in the lineup. They're saying, now they believe that it was a fracture, right? Y'all sent this man out taking live BP, knowing that we didn't know he had a fracture. He had inflammation in his hand. So wait, listen. Let's just think about what you're saying right now. And this is coming from their staff. Dude has inflammation in his hand. The only way that you'd be able to actually tell if it was fractured is if you underwent an MRI or something of that nature, right? And they looked at the hand, but they can't do that while there's inflammation. So instead of allowing the inflammation to heal, telling the media, hey, give us, a week, we'll be able to give you. So once the inflammation has gone down, we'll be able to give you some kind of report on what his status is, if there is anything else that's wrong with his hand. No, they have done the exact opposite of that. And they have made it a storyline now where, you know who has the second highest WAR in baseball right now?
Who?
In the past month. Who has the second? And it's not Pete Crow Armstrong, though that would be a very good guess. It's Jeremy Pena.
Hey, for real?
Correct. B War, to be clear, not F War. But Jeremy Pena has been on an insane tear. And instead of us talking about some of the better, Hunter Brown has like a sub-2 ERA right now. And we're not talking about that. Instead, when we're thinking about the Astros, we're talking about their, oh, well, what's going on with Yordan? When's Yordan going to be back in the lineup? And we have we got Dana Brown, GM, talking about, oh, well, and again, this is no discredit to the Astros doctors. They are, again, obviously very highly accomplished medical staff that they have down there. That is not to discredit them whatsoever. It's also not to discredit Dana Brown, but Dana Brown's not a doctor. So why is he spending 15 minutes 2 days ago talking about bones and hand issue? That's not his job. Why don't you put the person who is in the trainer or whoever, why don't we put them up there to give that kind of information? Again, whether or not the player wants to put that information out there, I know it's up to them. But again, I just feel like the Astros, and this is not recent, the Astros have been doing this for a long time. And it's not just with injuries. I think the Astros really just have, as a whole, a big PR problem. And the injuries are really,
to say the least.
yeah, the Astros have a very big PR problem. And I'm not even talking just like the trash can nonsense. I'm not even talking about that. Yeah, I'm not even discussing that. I just think they have a large communication problem in Houston.
Before we go to Padres, I wanted to go. You just said that you weren't really impressed by anybody.
The Padres are another team that have an injury problem, and they don't know how to address injuries, and it's beyond me.
Before we get to, I know you said that I want to stay in the American League real quick. I know you said you're not that impressed by anybody in the American League. Why do you feel about the Detroit Tigers? Because they do have the best record.
The Tigers are pretty good. I think they're really good. Do I think that they would beat? I don't know if I think that they would beat whoever came out of the National League at this current stage. Now, if they made some additional moves for like bullpen pieces, and again, starters, which I know the market is going to be sketchy this year just because there's quite a lot of competitive teams in the National League. And obviously there's still some teams in the AL that are going to fight, but yeah, right now, I still don't know if I am completely sold on the idea of Detroit Tigers 2025 World Series champs.
That makes sense. Final topic. Let's talk about the San Diego Padres. Padres started off real hot this year, but they have slowly came back down to earth. Right now, they're 2 games behind the Los Angeles Dodgers for first place. They had a comeback victory against the Pittsburgh Pirates last night. By the way, shout out to Andrew McCutcheon for tying was Roberto Clemente with the most home runs in Pirate history. So shout out to him. They've had injuries, like you said. What's your scope in on the Padres for this season?
It's June. What's the date today? June 2nd. It's June 2nd. Okay. So I would like to go on the record as saying that I am not concerned about the Padres yet. We will revisit this conversation at the end of June. And I say end of June just because I'm pulling up their schedule for the rest of the month because they're in the gauntlet. I'm not going to lie to you.
They start a series with the Giants tonight.
Yeah, they got the Giants for the next 4. And then they go to they play Milwaukee, in Milwaukee. And that's 3-game set. Mind you, Milwaukee just swept the Phillies this past weekend. So this is a team that is also very hot right now. Then they have LA for 3 at home, then go to Arizona for 3, have LA in LA for 4, Kansas City for 3, then Washington, which again, Washington's bats can get hot too, and then Cincinnati, and then they end the month of June with another series against Philly. That being said, the trade deadline is not that far away. And right now, the Padres are without a couple of their starters. We don't know when Yu Darvish is going to come back. Obviously, we knew that they would be without Joe Musgrove. So right now, they're rocking with Dylan Cease, Nick Pivetta, who's actually had a really good season, Randy Vasquez, Stephen Kolek, who has been a little surprising as well. But they would be going into a playoff run. Again, we don't know what the status of Michael King is. He had some like a right shoulder, like a pinched nerve or something in his shoulder, which you can't fuck with that either. With someone that you made was a big trade acquisition for you. So yeah, the Padres, I'm a little nervous for them on the starter front. The offense can get going. I'm not too worried about that. They're going through a bit of a slump. It's unfortunate that they just had the injury to Gavin Sheets yesterday, who has been balling out this season. 35 RBI, 267 average with 11 home runs. I know that probably is not fun for you to hear me say that Gavin Sheets is having an incredible.
Look, there's nothing that the White Sox can do.
Choking himself out right now.
It is already scar tissue. There's no way I can be any more hurt than I am when it comes to that thing.
But yeah, no, and there's a few guys in the lineup that just aren't hitting right now. I mean, Tatis batted under 200 in May. He didn't perform that well. Their best offensive player right now, arguably, again, was Gavin Sheets. Manny Machado, you have to at least ask the question if maybe he's on the
decline,
wrong side of 30.
Yeah.
Again, last season wasn't a great season. Again, I'm not saying that Manny Machado's cooked. That is not what I'm saying at all. He is absolutely a guy that could hit 5 home runs in a 10 game stretch, and then we're like talking about Manny Machado again, like nothing ever happened. But Xander Bogaerts has not been very good. They still have a problem in left field, which I don't know if you heard about the Jarren Duran trade talks that are going on right now. There's rumors that Jarren Duran could possibly is trade fodder to San Diego. I
think that'll be actually a good addition for the Padres. I think
100%. They have first off, great positional flexibility. I was talking about it with the high and outside crew, which again, tap in with us, guys. We do shoot and record every week. Drops on Fridays. So
every Friday.
We will probably unpack this some more. But we were just talking in our chat about how much positional flexibility the Padres have. They basically have like 7 shortstops on their team. And so Jarren Duran is somebody who can play in the outfield. He can play first base if Luis Arraez is, going to continue to be a little inconsistent at first base like he has been. Again, Jackson Merrill got hurt and hasn't really been the same since he came back from his hamstring injury. I think he went like 2 for 27 at one point in May. So again, he offers you outfield depth. He is somebody that can play the infield as well at first base. So yeah, but again, you have to think, if you're the Padres, what are your biggest needs? Because if you're going to need a starter, their bullpen's been okay. They've struggled lately a little bit as of late, but what are your biggest needs? Because I think you might need starting pitching depth more than you might need a Jarren Duran. So we'll see what deals get done first and when. But never sleep on AJ Preller's ability to get a job done.
Definitely. Courtney, any other MLB thoughts you have when we wrap up tonight?
No, not really. Jack Caglione and the Kansas City Royals. It's must-watch TV this week. Watch the Kansas City Royals, even if you're not a fan. Definitely tap in. I like seeing organizations be willing to just put guys into the bigs and see what they can do.
To act smart.
Because you can always send them back down if they don't perform well. But like if they overperform, especially in a lineup like Kansas City that has really been sputtering and struggling to get some offense going, outside of a couple of guys, that could be the spark that starts something really interesting in the American League Central.
Definitely, of course, like Courtney said, you can check her out with Dante, also the rest of the High and Outside crew each and every Friday here on the Barber Network. Courtney, we gonna holler at you. Follow her at 1800 Collabro on all social media platforms.
1-800 Collabro.
My bad. 1-800-1800.
No, the people need to know. My name.
There's a story behind it.
My name is Courtney Collabro. So my username is 1-800 Collabro.
Yeah, well, I knew that, but still 1800.
We're telling stories, Scott. We're stories.
You're right. 1-800 Collabro. My apologies for messing up your Twitter name. But Courtney, we gonna holler at you.
Sounds good, man. Cheers.
Yes. All right. We're gonna wrap today's episode up. If I'm not gonna hold you. We got one more episode on Friday for this week. These episodes are gonna start to get shorter because of obviously ain't that much to talk about right now in the sports world. NFL is about to be in the dead period. I will be at Hallisall the next 2 days. I'll be up there tomorrow and Wednesday to recap minicamp. Won't be there on Thursday. It's 3-day minicamp. I won't be there on Thursday, but I will be there Tuesday and Wednesday. You can check out my recap video, which will be here on H&B Media YouTube, on the Barber's Chair Network Media YouTube, and all of my social media platforms. Second Night to Hallis, my page, Barber's Chair. Really, anything that you can get from us, it's going to be on that platform, and I'll be breaking down minicamp before we go into the dark period of the NFL, which there's nothing to talk about for the next 6 weeks, man. So definitely we're gonna be talking more baseball as well. Shout out to Courtney, shout out to Dante, shout out to Sid, shout out to Malik and everybody in the High and Outside crew. Shout out to Tosin, Coach, and Deen for joining me today. Check out the latest episode of the Shirtless Plantain show, as they are the newest additions to the Barber's Chair family, so check them out. Of course, shout out to Pavy for joining us as well, talking NBA. On Friday, we're going to recap game 1 of the NBA Finals, man. So, of course, you know to follow me on all social media platforms. That is at Barber Chair Scott. You can follow the Barber's Chair at Barber's Chair Co. On all social media platforms, as well as our partners, H&B Media at H&B Media TV on Twitter and at H&B Media on Instagram. And of course, follow the Instagram of the show. I'm not gonna hold you at INGHY show on Instagram. And follow me. I know I said follow me on all social media platforms, but my TikTok really been going crazy. All right. Shout out to everybody who follow me on the top. Getting tuned at Barber Chair Scott. Let's keep these numbers up. I done gained like 100 new followers in a week. Let's get me up to 1,000 very soon. So let's keep what my Matthew McConaughey said, them rookie numbers. Let's pump them numbers up. So let's do all of that, man. Of course, subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Barber's Chair Network. If you subscribe to any of the tiers on there, if you see right on the screen, you can take your phone up, scan the QR code. It'll take you right to the link. If you were listening to on the podcast version, the link is in the description box. We have 4 different tiers on there: the Summer Sessions tier, the 79th and Hallis tier, the I'm Not Gonna Hold You tier, and the $10 Holla, the Barber's Chair Access tier, which you get everything. If you subscribe, you get 25% off your first order on the Barber's Chair Network merchandise shop. That is the bcnetshop.com, man. So shout out to all y'all watching me. Couldn't be able to do this show without all the viewers and the listeners supporting the show. Shout out to everybody who joined me. So we're gonna holler at y'all on Friday. Get ready and prepare for my Bears recaps tomorrow and Wednesday. We about it.